Hello, friends and non-friends. Welcome back to It's the End of the World, Unless. And today, I have a very special guest. Actually,
gang.
He's going to be a fucking co-host
You
now.
know.
My nigga Skxnni.
You already know. Skxnni in the building. Doing what I do. Always. Talking
Applause,
shit. You know what I'm saying?
And on this episode, me and my homie are going to be talking about good old racism. Gotta fucking love it. So what is racism to you? Like, how would you define it?
To me, it's just, white people doing what white people do. Colonizing, you know what I'm saying? Taking over shit. Using their race as a weapon, you know what I'm saying? As they know best.
Of course. So, like, the official, definition of racism is the belief that one's race hinders their capabilities, characteristics, successes, whatever the fuck else. Your race prohibits you from being great as perceived by the racist person. To me, because when you go off that race, if you go off that definition, it gives people, a lot of white people, the okay to that, reverse racism is a thing. But no. So to me, racism is like when you have power plus prejudice.
It has to work in a system. It can't work just by itself. Like, you can be offended by something I say, but that doesn't stop you from living your life. That doesn't stop you from getting jobs. That doesn't stop you from going to certain schools, certain places. It just doesn't hinder your life.
Precisely. So I think that black people can show prejudice, specifically to white people, but we cannot be racist. I don't even think black people can be racist to any race.
I would agree. I feel like the dynamic is a little different, but I think that every other race has some sort of anti-black rhetoric to it, or some type of, anti-black. I think I seen something that said like every language has some word that equivalates to like nigger or nigger, something like that. So, I mean, I really don't see it as a POC thing. I always look at it as like black, and then there's POC, and then there's white.
For sure.
So.
For people that don't know, POC would be people of color.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I think I would agree, and I don't know. Maybe it's my ignorance showing, but I don't think that there's been any group besides maybe Latinos that have been oppressed nearly to the extent that we have.
I wouldn't even give them that.
Okay, specifically in this country. Like, we're not talking about worldwide shit, but the history of the USA, black people are the most oppressed group, like, has been and still is. So, therefore, we cannot be racist to anyone. Like, we can show prejudice, we can call you a cracker and, call whatever, but that's never gonna stop you from going further in life. Like, none of that is really ingrained into the system.
Right.
With it is with black people. So we all agree reverse racism, not a fucking thing.
Pretty much.
And if you don't agree, let me know. Let's have the chat. I want to talk about that shit. As far as this whole black versus white thing, which has really amped up in the past year, just with everybody being forced to stay at home, and then social media on the rise, and then
I think that everybody's scared. I think everybody's not trying to show it, but I think everybody's scared. Nobody in our lifetime has really faced anything like this, as far as COVID, and then seeing the way that all these mass shootings and things that's happening, and just the Capitol shit happening. I don't think we've seen nothing like this before, at least in our lifetime. So it's everybody, I feel like everybody's just on edge, and everybody's looking for somebody to blame or somebody to take their fears out on. So, yeah.
Yes. I think it's also, people are still trying to like be in denial, even with all the evidence that is being put out every day. It's like you still have plenty of niggas that are like, oh, well, you still got your good cops.
Mm-hmm.
You so let the good cops be good cops and the bad cops be no. It's the whole system. It's not, we're not attacking individuals. It's the foundation that it was built on,
right,
and what it has evolved into, like what it's manifested itself into. So I mean, sure, you can get rid of all the fucking bad cops, but the
system
way,
in itself is built
right. The way that police are trained to like profile people and pull them over based on that judgment that you make pretty much off of nothing, and just the whole like prison system it doesn't work. I believe in prison abolition. I'm not for like defunding the police. Get rid of that shit altogether, because
I definitely feel like from seeing the way that they handle like criminals in other places, like other countries, I definitely could see, like, I think because this is all we've been shown, we kind of just it's all that we understand. It's like prison. That has to be the only answer. But I think that everything stems from something else. So if you can track where that comes from, I think there are people who can be saved through rehabilitation if you're really trying to rehabilitate. I don't think that drug addicts should be in prison, because I feel like that's an escape. I feel like if you're using drugs, you're not using it to hurt other people. You're not using it to do the things. Even if you end up hurting other people, I don't think you're doing it for that reason. So I don't think they deserve to be in there. Drug dealers, honestly, I don't, because I feel like they're supplying people with that escape. And also, I don't know. I know plenty of. Oh, okay, I won't say it like that. There are people in my neighborhood that sell narcotics. But I know for a fact that none of them have the capabilities to transport a large amount of narcotics to our neighborhood. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's just coming from somewhere.
Exactly. And none of my friends own boats or planes or anything.
And I mean, we don't even need to go that far. Let's look at the reason why people are having to resort to selling drugs.
Right.
And why people are having to resort to doing drugs. And throwing them in prison. This is going to be a whole nother podcast episode, because I want to have like a few people on this debate. But throwing addicts in prison, and especially not giving them any type of treatment, is just furthering the problem. You're forcing people into isolation with no type of enrichment. It's like throwing a dog in the shelter.
Yeah.
You know?
It really is like dog eats dog. Like,
yeah.
It really becomes that. Because it's like you have a bunch of dudes, everybody's angry, everybody's locked in these small places, everybody's wondering when they're going to get out, everybody wants to see their family. And it's just not healthy for your mind. I saw this documentary where it was this black dude. He was in prison. I forgot where it was, but he said he was in solitary for like, I think like 10 or 15 years. I forgot how long, but in solitary, and he didn't have no windows, anything. So they finally let him out, and he had seen the moon for the first time in like 15 years. And I was like, how do you, like what does that do to somebody's psyche?
It makes me so emotional.
Yeah, like I seen that, and it really like I was like, damn, because I couldn't even imagine, you know what I'm saying? Like I wake up every day, see the sun.
Shit every day.
Exactly. And I couldn't imagine 15 years not knowing what day it is, not knowing what time it is, not knowing like
not having anybody to talk to.
For 15, like it's that's not rehabilitation. Like that's
literally niggas
torture.
Feeding you food through a slot. They showed that well, in a bunch of things, but one thing that really like opened my eyes was the Khalif Browder story that they put on Netflix. How they had
R.I.P.
this teenager, rest in peace. How they had this teenager in there. He wasn't even officially charged with anything. Had him in there
just
for
waiting.
What, like a year or two, off of suspicion, off of like allegations that legally That boy was supposed to be released months prior. But while he was being held illegally in prison, he was subjected to all this violence from other like prisoners. And one thing led to another. He ended up in solitary, fucked him up, got released, and committed suicide.
And that's what they do.
And that shit is so fucking common.
That's what they do.
It's so common. Like, at some point, you have to ask yourself, what is the purpose of prison?
Is it really? Are we really rehabilitating?
Is it to make people better people? Is it really to say, hey, go in timeout and think about what you did, and then come out and be a better person? Nigga, no.
And
especially with the rise in private prisons.
And then on top of that, even when you let people out, you're not giving them the opportunity. You saying, okay, you're a felon, so you can't work here, you can't work here, you can't do this, can't do that, can't vote, can't. So it's like you taking all the rights away, and then telling them to try to fit back into a society after they've been away for 15 years. They don't know nothing that's going on. They don't know. It's all new technologies. It's all new types of learning. We done learned all new types of things. It's all this new, like, it's so much new shit to understand. And I understand why a lot of people end up going back, because it's like, would I rather have to adjust to 15 years later with no help? I can't get a job. Like, I gotta go back to what I knew 15 years ago, or I could go back to prison where I was getting 3 meals a day at least. I had somewhere to sleep. I didn't have to worry about this. I know everybody in there. It's like, it makes sense that people become repeat offenders. Like, you go back to what's comfortable, and that's why I feel like the whole system does it. It turns somebody who went in there for something as simple as a DUI into somebody who becomes like a real criminal that has to feel like they have to live in that system to survive.
If you even make it in the prison. Because, as we have seen plenty times as of late, they killing niggas before they even get in the car, or right after they get in the car. Like, we hear about Breonna Taylor and George Floyd, and I think the most recent, like, most popular case was Daunte Wright. But there's so many cases that we don't hear about. And it's, I mean, just to name a few, because I took note of them. Marvin Scott III, 26 years old when he died, and he died in custody. That was March 14th of this year. Genoa Donald, 30 years old, died February 11th of this year, killed before he even got into prison. Xavier Hill, 18 years old, died January 9th of this year. These are 3 out of the 20 plus cases that I've seen, and we've only heard about what, 3 or 4. Those are the only ones that get the most talk.
Publicity. Yeah.
This shit happens so fucking often,
and it just gets lost in the track. It's like nobody pays attention because it's just
say their names, but it's a new name every day, every fucking day. So, I mean, there's even a couple websites like Killed by Police. That track every person that's been killed. Just take a look at those websites, just so you can understand, like, how big this shit is and how serious it is. Like, no amount of reform can fix that.
No. You can't put that type of power in anybody's hands and expect it to go right. I feel like that's just been proven so many times with human psychology. Like, once we get power, we automatically have to feel like we have to abuse it. Like, you have a bunch of people who are basically making judgments on their own accord. Like, and I feel like it's crazy to give one person the judgment to say, okay, I think you're this or I think you're that, and then basically decide your life for you. Like, that's crazy
and all in
to
a
think
split
in
second.
A second, though, and that's the crazy part. It's like I can meet you, never have met you in my life. We never had an interaction, never seen you before, but just in my head, because of how you look and what I think about you and what I think you might do, I'm automatically scared, or I'm automatically thinking something negative about you. So I'm gonna just react, and now your life is over, and it's just that quick. And it's like, that's not right in any capacity. Like, I don't care if it's black on white, white on black, black on black. It's not right
at all
for anybody to have that type of power, to be able to stop somebody's life in its tracks off of an assumption. Like, that's crazy.
Especially when you look up the requirements to become a police officer, my nigga.
And that in itself is ridiculous. If people knew what it took to be a police officer, you would never respect them again.
It takes absolutely nothing.
Nothing. They don't even. The funniest part about it, you can be too smart to be a police officer. If you get too high of a score on the test, they won't hire you, because they'll say they're thinking you're too much of a free thinker, and you might think outside of their system.
Bruh.
They want people. It's the same with the military. They want people who will blindly just follow America and say, I'm gonna do what I have to do to get this pension, this check, this Camaro, whatever I need, and I'm gonna take care of my family, and I'm gonna do it. And that's the American dream, quote unquote.
Not to mention how with the military, they send recruiters out in these underdeveloped, low-income neighborhoods to target. We're not even gonna get it. That's gonna be a whole separate episode, but you know, just to throw that in there. So yeah, police fucking suck. But like I said, this is gonna be a whole nother episode, because I want to have people with opposing views, since this is a pretty popular topic when it comes to racism. So I want to have people with opposing views on here, just so we can really like get into it. So I don't want to get stuck on police, because we could talk about that forever. But let's get into, when it comes to black versus white, the double standards that come up, like you pointed out, teen pregnancy. How when black teenagers are pregnant, they're looked down upon, but when white teenagers get pregnant, they get 16 and pregnant. The
Like
fucking
shit.
show,
Like shit.
which follows them until they're still following them.
I guess
right
I
now.
have no idea how it
I
works,
still see
honestly.
commercials for that fucking shit.
And it's
Teen
like-
Mom OG.
Or they end up on like Dr. Phil or some shit. Like, it's like it's just wild how.
Like, y'all weren't profiting off of their trauma knowingly, but yeah. Drugs, you know.
It's a big opioid. What they call it, a crisis,
Epidemic,
something like that.
Oh no, the opioid crisis. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a crisis. It's a crisis for them, but for us, you know, it's just
crackheads.
you know, niggas being niggas.
Oh, they dropped it off to us.
Yeah, personally.
Yeah.
So here you go.
Deliver straight to our fucking.
Here you go. Go ahead and poison yourself, niggas.
Dead ass. Fucking shit. Aesthetics. Oh my God. I used to love getting into the argument on Twitter with white bitches who just insisted on having goddamn locks in their hair. Like, bitch. You know that shit is gonna pull your hair out?
It's not even good for their hair.
You know you look like a damn fool.
And
right?
they could get the little Viking braids and all that other shit that work for their hair, but they rather try to do our shit because.
Go back to your 70s styles, because y'all was killing that shit. Y'all was rocking that shit. And it was yours.
And the shit that bothers me so much with white people, I ain't gonna say white people, just that type of white person. It's like, I can understand you appreciating our stuff and all that type of shit, but like if we're telling you that like it bothers us, why does it make you so mad that you can't be included? Like, I always want to ask white people, like, what is it in you that makes you feel like you need to be included? Like, what is that part of you that's just like...
Entitlement has been bred.
Like, it has to be... Like, it's in your genetics at this point where you're just like, I see people over there enjoying themselves. I gotta... If I can't have no fun, nobody can have no fun. And it's like, why, though? Like, we're not... Because white people have this idea that we're looking at them like looking at them. We don't pay attention to white people. Like, for the most part, we don't care what y'all are doing. We don't care what y'all got going on.
Unless y'all
bothering us.
Which you always are.
But y'all always in our business. Y'all always got something to say. Y'all always got opinions on our music. We don't sit here and debate y'all country albums because we don't give a fuck. We don't give a fuck. So it's like, why y'all over here talking about, oh, well, WAP is disrespectful, and why are your kids listening to Cardi B, bitch? Turn the shit off. Listen to some kids bop, nigga. Like, the fuck is wrong with you? Turn the shit off. Be a parent. Take some responsibility. Everybody want to blame NBA YoungBoy because your son out here toting fake guns and shit. Be a parent. Sorry you had kids. Be a parent.
Dead ass.
That's how life goes.
Dead ass. And I mean, like I said, I hate to generalize, but I think just generally speaking, of course there's going to be exceptions to this, but generally, I think white people never really had the skill of being creative because they've always been just taking from other people and like building on top of that and calling everything theirs. Not to mention trying to dumb us down. Mm-hmm. Well, no, dumbing us down. And still trying to continue that. But they still, it's like.
I get what you mean, though. It's like they're trying to make us not understand our greatness. But if you look back in time, a lot of the things that they say that they created, you look further back, you see it's us. Like, a lot of the shit comes from Egyptian, somewhere in Africa, somewhere in that area. Like, it comes from us, like the motherland. It's a reason for that shit. Like, as much as they try to take it away from us, that's just what it is. Like, you want to take away our greatness, and they took
and call it yours.
Yeah, they stripped it down, and they knew exactly how to manipulate. If there's one thing about white people that I will give them, and I can't even say that's a credible thing. If it's one thing that I could give them, they know how to manipulate situations. They know they're very good with human psychology. Like, they understand the brain very much.
They've got 400 years on us with that shit,
and
dog.
they know how to take conversations and say certain things and make you. They know how to perk your ears up. They know how to make you listen and shit. They know what to say to everything is scripted. Everything is directed. And I was saying, I don't know who I was having this conversation with, but I think it was you.
Yes.
We were talking about when you meet a white person, both of y'all brains automatically go into this place of okay, this is if I meet a white person, my brain automatically goes to okay, this is a white person. Let me adjust myself right quick.
That code switching, right?
Yeah, you automatically even because me. I'm the type of nigga, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to be me. I'm going to say nigga. I'm going to be ignorant. I'm going to say my shit.
Yes.
I don't give a fuck.
And loudly.
And loudly as fuck.
Yes.
But at the same time, there is a joke, reaction. There is that quick, you know what I'm saying?
But I love to do that to see their reaction.
You're right. You always switch back real quick, and then you be like, nah, fuck that. I ain't going with that shit.
Exactly.
But it's
some of us.
Yeah, some of us, we go with it. We'll code switch. And
most
we'll start,
of us.
It's natural, though. Mm-hmm. It's in our brains at this point. We've been built to, think like that. Back when they was in the 60s and shit, when they was calling everybody boy, and they oh, yes, sir. We used to that shit. It's in us now, but that's why we gotta unlearn that shit.
I cringe when I hear young black men calling white people sir.
Yeah,
I cringe when I understand you probably Southern or your mama just raised you to be super respectful to everybody, but baby, come on now, you can drop that with them. It's just it's a little too sensitive.
Yeah, I get it. It's all it's all just in us. It's all just reaction now.
Yeah.
It's so passed down through. It's probably in our genes at this point.
That's what I'm saying.
But you can fix your genes. I actually learned that recently. So. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, apparently.
You can.
Yeah, so if you have bad eyesight and you eat a lot of foods and shit that have I don't know exactly the vitamins or whatever, but the shit for good eyesight.
Eye fixing shit.
Yeah, you could change your your genetics so your kids will have better eyesight. Yeah, over time.
Yeah. Interesting.
So yeah.
If white people could do that with race, that'd be great.
They won't though.
Let's be optimistic.
I want to be. I really do. I really do. But I feel like the real of it is you can't save everybody. You just can't.
Yeah, in my ideal world, I don't even know if half the people that are here now are gonna make it. It's just not. Some people are just too far gone.
Yeah,
and I've just come to terms with that at this point. How would you describe respectability politics?
I think it's bullshit. I think it's funny when people say, "Oh, because he's wearing a suit and did it." They killed Martin Luther King in a suit and Malcolm X.
Right.
Where's your next argument?
Right. The locks aren't professional and shit.
It's switching your voice up is not gonna make them like you more. It's just gonna make them say, "Oh, he'll accept what I give him."
Right.
Like being a house nigga ain't no better than being a field nigga if you still doing some work. Like,
But because not everybody agrees with that. Like, how do we get everybody to realize that? Hey, it's a lot better not being a nigga or being a nigga instead of a nigger. Like don't be a house nigger or a field nigger. Come over here and be a nigga.
Right.
You know? How do you get everybody on that same page?
I feel like a lot of people don't even know that yet. A lot of people don't know they niggas because we've gotten to a point with America specifically where your money, we think that your money matters more than your skin. And there's still people that are convinced they could buy their way out of your skin.
Black capitalists.
But if LeBron James got to deal with racism, I know damn well everybody else dealing with it. If Beyonce got to deal with it, if all these other people got it, like, money don't change what you look like. So at the end of the day, no matter how much money you have, there's a white person that's waiting to step on you, that's waiting to challenge you because they got more. They always gonna have more. There's no point in any time where you could put everybody's money together. Yes, we have a lot of money together. I think the black, like, I do not say I ain't gonna stamp this on nothing. Not sure. Don't quote me. But I think like black Americans make up like 1 point something. It might be billion, trillion or something. But as far as what we spend on shit, it's a lot. Like we make up a lot of money. Just black Americans.
We've helped a lot of other demographics come up.
There you go. So, that being said, if we could put our money back into our own communities and do what we supposed to do, we would be in a place where we could do it. But we've seen in the past where we've had communities where we had shops, things of that, just for us. And what they do? Bomb that shit. So, at this point, it's like, I don't really feel like there's a point where you could say, let's appeal to the compassion. Because compassion is never going to overrule money ever, and it might to the lower class because they might see, okay, we in the same boat as them. You got some people, but I promise you, the more money you have, the harder it is going to be for you to give up that comfortability, even if you black. Like, if I got a bunch of money and you tell me I could vote for Donald Trump and keep my money and get more money, or I could vote for this person and my life would be probably unchanged because I live in a white neighborhood. All my neighbors accept me because I fit in. I don't talk too much. I do what I'm supposed to do. I pay my bills. I cut my grass, make sure I'm good. Nobody talk to me. Straight, right? But we seen in the video, I think have you seen
recently where the ex-military person?
Yeah. The big Vin Diesel looking motherfucker.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm like, even
I didn't watch the video because I can't watch those videos anymore. I got the gist of it. And then I saw how niggas showed up in masks. Yeah, I was like,
the coolers and the speakers and shit. We need that, but I hate that we only do it when it's some bad shit. Yeah. Like, every time we have good shit, we fuck it up by doing, niggas want to shoot, niggas want to start drama, niggas want to do all this extra ass shit. Yeah. But it's like when we come together like that, I'm like, we could do that. Like, we have that in us all the time.
You know what happened that really made me realize that? When that fucking crypto shit happened, it was like somebody exposed like one of the cryptos that like a bunch of like a huge hedge fund was about to short it, I think, or maybe it was stocks. I think it was.
You talking about the GameStop shit?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And when everybody came together to get that shit done,
fuck them over. Yes. And they shut that down quick.
Yes, dog. But and that shit happened within 24 to 48 hours.
And that's why I said the internet is the key to all this.
It's just people aren't using it productively.
Not using it for the right reason.
People are using it to, I was talking to my dad about this earlier. People are using it to escape.
Yes. It's another drug.
The dark truth, but it's like, no, this could be the solution.
Yes.
we're seeing like a fraction of its power.
They cannot keep up with what we can do with the internet.
Bruh,
it's
we
too
saw
many
it.
minds,
We
too many
saw
tapped
it.
in. It's the way to connect the world. Like we've never had a tool like this ever in the history of man. Like people don't understand the impact. Like coming from me, I literally saw like the internet come up. You know what I'm saying? Like I had the dial-up shit. You remember the dial-up, the loud ass on. You couldn't use it when the phone was on. Like all that shit. So we realized came up with the internet. Like to see it where it is. This is a beginning for real.
Dead ass.
Where they gonna take it?
Because they're gonna center the fuck out of everything.
They gonna try
only
to take
in
it
due
all
time, dude. It's inevitable.
Yeah.
It's inevitable because it's too many loud. Like open-minded, opinionated people, yes, that are willing to put themselves on the line to get their message out there.
And people are starting to wake up.
Yeah. Slowly.
Very,
very slowly. It's not happening quick enough.
Yeah.
But,
Gotta be patient with people.
Yeah. And I'm going back, this is going way back, but to that entitlement thing with white people, like, what the fuck is up with them feeling the need to insert themselves in spaces where there's no space?
I just feel like it goes with it. Like you said, it goes with the entitlement. It's like we having a discussion amongst ourselves. Even if between us we're arguing, I don't feel like that's
Nigga,
a place
you do not need to chime in.
That's not a place for you. I don't come to your house and tell your family how to deal with y'all issues.
Your opinion is not needed, babe. Like when someone does some shit, like some racist shit, whether it's a white person or shit, even a person of color, because I've seen that plenty of times. That's not black. And then you get black people like, hey, that's fucked up, that's offensive, and then white people like, no, it's not.
Well, I didn't find it offensive.
Bitch!
It's not about you.
Exactly. No one's asking. You weren't the one that was offended, so you don't need to be talking.
And it's crazy to me how Asian people got all that hype off of one little incident.
There was a few.
I ain't gonna do that. That's my bad. My bad, Asian community. My bad. Over some incidents, especially with the corona and all that, like it definitely got hectic. But I think it's very interesting how it took that for them to sign a whole bill just for Asian people.
Bruh.
Where our bill at? That's all I want to know. I just want to know where our bill at. I mean,
that's why I'm just trying to get my reparations any way that I can.
Look.
Any way that I fucking can.
Look, I still need mine. I still need my 40s. You know what I'm saying? So, buy it whenever you feel like, whenever you feeling generous. I still need my 40. You know what I'm saying?
We gonna be checking in.
Yeah, I'm gonna call you. I call you.
Ooh. Have you ever felt like you were being fetishized by white woman?
I ain't gonna hold you. Growing up, like, around here, I ain't really deal with white women like that.
Okay.
To be honest with you.
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't say a lot. I have had times where, like, white women would try to, like, touch my hair or some shit, but I don't play that shit. I don't do that shit. But nah, I don't feel like really. I feel like the few times where I had tried to talk to a white woman, it was like, just wasn't it. It was weird. Like, it was like, I know one she said something about mixed babies, and that automatically
Lord.
I was like, nah, that's a
one,
red
two,
flag.
three,
Yeah,
four.
that's a neon red flag.
But you know what? Some niggas, when they hear that, they
fuck with that shit. They fuck with that shit.
That's exactly what I was looking for.
And we need to talk about.
But that's internalized racism,
like
right
shit,
there, baby.
Like shit. And we need to talk about how. Nah, I ain't even gonna get it. We gonna get to that. We gonna get that. That's a whole other topic. That's a whole other topic.
Alright, say less. Okay. Okay, so you said that you never really dealt with, like, a lot of white people growing up.
No, not really.
In this area. Not even, like, on the internet or anything?
Nah, I like, everybody fake black on the internet. That's my opinion.
Yes.
So you really never know who you talking to, because you can have a best friend and you think like, oh, this my bad. You be saying nigga all day and da. He's some white boy from Wisconsin and shit. So that's just the nature of the internet for real. But Nah, like the few like interactions I have had with white people, it's always weird. I don't know why. Maybe it's me, but it's always weird. It's just like
Even on the internet.
Like I said, I don't really know what white people on the internet. Like I never gravitate towards white people. Like it's never in my nature to just be like, hey, this is a white person, let me go talk to him. Like,
okay, so let me speak from personal experience, because the first 20 years of my life, that was me. I felt more comfortable with white people than I did with a lot of black people. And that was coming from a place of internalized like hate and racism and all that shit. And I mean, over the past year or two, I've cut a lot of people out of my life. Like, a lot. This one girl specifically, and I'm not going to name any names, of course, but...
Of course.
I had to write her a long-ass message explaining why I was about to cut her off. Because she posted something on Facebook with her friend, her like best friend, who's a Trump supporter. I voted blue, she voted red, but the message is to love your neighbor or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, okay.
Which is pretty much what I said, long story short. And I mean, just in the scene that I was in, because I listened to a lot of electronic music. I still do, but not nearly as much. And I went to a lot of festivals and concerts and shit. And most of the people there were white. So,
understandable.
You know, I was hanging out with literally all white people. But that was before I really started becoming self-aware. And the amount of shit that I can like flash back and remember that I've dealt with, oh my God.
Like what?
I mean, we don't need to go into specifics. But it's hindsight 2020, pretty much. And so, I mean, I had to cut just from when everybody was being outspoken last year, just because of I think it was because of Breonna Taylor. I don't think it was
George Floyd, Breonna Taylor. It was. They was they was putting a bigger light, I feel like, on George Floyd. So it was a lot of the like say his name, but a lot of people had forgot. I don't want to say forgot, but a lot of people like I personally feel like Breonna Taylor kind of fell behind in the as far as exposure.
I feel like at the beginning of quarantine, it was really mainly about Breonna Taylor.
I don't know. Maybe it's not my opinion.
Yeah. But even then, when everyone was being outspoken, I had plenty of people that I was calling friends and like going out of town with, staying in hotels for long periods of time that didn't say anything on social media. And it's not like I want you to parade around a I'm not racist badge, but my nigga, acknowledge if you're gonna be posting on social media, acknowledge what is happening.
Right.
Don't come on, post your hoop video like the world isn't fucking crumbling right now. And even if you're not gonna say anything on social media, check on your friend.
Right.
Check on your friend, because I was not okay, and we're trying, but I'm still trying to deal with everything that I've been learning and continue to learn, and luckily there were a handful of friends that are white that I can still call my friends. Like they really, even if they were ignorant before, last year really opened their eyes to like what's happening, and how the world is realistically outside of their little bubble. And I can respect you for that. So if I personally believe that every white person is inherently racist. And I can kind of say that with my whole chest, because that's what you've been conditioned to be, if not by your parents, by society. And you might not be full blown nigger this, nigger that, or I'ma shoot you, but you're gonna have these like stereotypes that you associate with black people, and that is a form of racism. So even if I believe every white person starts like that. But if once you're aware that that's a thing, and you actively work to fix that, and it's not just you do something and then it's like you recognize this is something you're going to have to work on for your lifetime. Yeah. Then I can totally respect you for that, and we can continue to be friends and grow together. You know?
I can see that.
Yeah, but I understand everyone has different starting points and different growth rates and everything, but as long as you have that simple recognition, I can respect you and we can coexist.
Yeah, I feel like it's about being self-aware, like understanding your privilege, understanding like, okay, this is something that is serious. Like, and I think the fact that there are white people that can't, like, just like me, who I said I didn't really interact with white people until I started working for real, like until I got into the work. So just like that, it's white people who haven't interacted with us like that, like for real, like they can live in that bubble and never have to see, if they never like go to that side of Twitter or even on, because I saw something that was like, what was that documentary? I think it was like The Social Dilemma, something like that. It was talking about like social media and all this other shit, and it was saying that there are people in certain places in America that see different search results than we see on Google because of where they live. And like, so when you type something in, it brings up all those like, predictions and shit.
Yeah. So
they might get different predictions based on where they live. So if they live in a red state, they might get,
more conservative things.
Yeah, exactly. So you might search, do black people, and it's going to come steal, kill, rob, kill each other, da-da-da-da. But you live somewhere else where it might be a little bit more progressive. Do black people make this much? Do black people go to school this much? Da-da-da-da, stuff like that.
Right.
So it's just crazy how...
Same with the news and shit.
Yeah, the news is slanted. And recently I found out that the news actually isn't real. Like, they said it's actually supposed to be like some drama, like some type of, like they came on and said it wasn't actually real, like it wasn't supposed to be real, or like it was kind of like a...
I mean, they erased real news when they pretty much trimmed media down to like 6 corporations. Like, you got rid of all the independent news sources.
Like shit, it was just and they could put out whatever they want to.
Yeah.
And people believe it.
It was all by design.
And that's exactly what I was saying when you saying like white people are like inherently racist. I agree, because I feel like if you don't exist outside of that bubble and you forever live there, what other reason would you ever have to change? Like, you wouldn't have no reason. Like, if I don't have a reason not to hate you, and I never live around you, never exist around you, what reason do I have to not hate you?
Right. And even if you yourself aren't racist or don't have any of those racist tendencies, if you are being compliant with someone who is, no matter who they are, I'm putting you in that category, my dude.
Silence is compliance.
Literally. I'm putting you in that category. So, I mean, racist to me encompasses all those different groups of people. It's not just the obvious or even the subtle. It's the people that are okay with others. Like, if a black person isn't around you and you're not going to defend something that would be offensive, I'm good off.
You're still racist.
Yeah, I'm good off.
Still racist.
I'm good off.
Like, don't be quiet when you need to speak the loudest. And I feel like that's the biggest problem in the world right now, is that the people who know what's right, who know what the world could be, are the most quiet, and the people who want this world to be what it is are the people who are stomping on everybody. Like, they like, I don't give a fuck. Like, this how we like it. And as much as I want to get this a little bit into religion, but as much as Christians talk about hell, I feel like for this world to be, this might be controversial, but ruled by Christianity.
Yes. I agree.
I feel like it's hell on earth. So, what did y'all really create? If not, what y'all are afraid of?
Literally.
That's all I feel like.
Wow. That was some good shit. That's some good shit. All right, let's get off the black versus white. Black versus black.
Oh, shit. This is
The
just Twitter.
niggers
This
versus
Twitter.
the niggas.
This is Twitter. All day.
I mean, the amount of shit that I see the Umar memes in response to is pretty much everything that I'm talking about. Like,
I would say, one thing I was thinking about, I feel like every black versus black problem goes back to money in some way, shape, or form.
oh, that's funny because I have written here under black versus black capitalists.
But even if you take it deeper than just capitalism,
Yeah.
like, if we talk about colorism, right? The reason why a lot of people feel a certain type of way, well, I ain't gonna say a lot of people feel a certain way. A lot of people feel like there are a lot more actors that could fill a lot more roles, but they will put the same light-skinned women or men in the same roles, right? And that goes back to money, because they feel like certain people, dark skin, and racism is more than just the name, black, white, whatever. I think it goes back to tone at the end of the day. The darker your tone is, the more I feel like you're going to experience, because there are white passing black people. I know a girl who looks like if you saw her, you would think you would look at her and you'd be like, something off. She look white, she's white, she has white skin, she has blue or some eyes, right? But her dad's black. But if you saw her, you'd be like, she not white. You look at her, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's something about her that's just, if you saw her, it's she's white, but it's something about her just she not white. You know what I'm saying? But I think the closer, the darker you are, the more, you know what I'm saying? And that's always the argument. It's darker women are just this, darker women. People would call it Ari Lennox, talking about she like a dog. Now all of a sudden she changed her hair up and da-da-da, and everybody boosting it.
And got, lost weight.
And that goes back to money. Because now she getting more notice, more people, more publicity, more, all that goes back to more attention. Money.
That goes back to white people being so goddamn good at psychology.
Shit. And there you go.
It's all by design, and that honestly sometimes leaves me feeling hopeless, because it's this shit is so big that most people
can't even see it. Can't even see it. It's just over your head.
This shit is a whole museum, and most people are still just looking at one person in one painting. Haven't even ventured around the gallery.
Just in a bubble, and they just, okay, I'm here, I like this painting, and I'm gonna stick with it.
Bruh. And the only way we're gonna get out of that is education, and then coming together off that education.
And it makes so, when we say education, I don't mean in the schools.
Nah.
I mean, we need black educators that know what the fuck they talking about, teaching black kids about black things.
Yeah.
Because I don't need no white person trying to tell me about the history of black nothing. Don't tell me about my people. I don't need none of that shit. I don't even care if you're Hispanic, Asian. Don't tell me about my people. I need black educators telling my black kids about some black shit. Because, no, I'm not fucking with none of that.
Yeah. I mean, fuck. Have you ever thought about tracing your family lineage?
Honestly, not really.
Really?
Nah. Only because it's I've never felt that deeply connected to my family. It's a lot of Bible thumping going on, and I'm not really with that. So I tend to not deal with them too much. So it's it kind of disconnected me from that. They've always labeled, when people meet my mom, for instance, they'll be like, oh, damn, I didn't even know, like, that's your mom. Like, she's so nice and shit. And I'd be like, I thought I was nice. But I guess the way I interact with people when I first meet, it's like I'm not that type of person. Like, I'm not a outgoing, you know, my mom is, though. So a lot of people don't, you know, associate me with the people that, you know. But anyway. So I've never been really connected to my family, so I never really thought about it.
Does that make you feel in any sort of way, like, disconnected from yourself?
I feel like it's always made me feel like I've been looking for, like, I guess something to belong to, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've always looked for, like, companions or, like, some type of family to surround myself with. So yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah.
And I'm a strong believer in order to find out where you're going, you got to know where you came from. And like, a lot of people get caught up in trying to find their purpose, but I think if you were to figure out where you came from, you would find your purpose in that. Whatever or however that may be. But I'm a strong believer in that. So I really want to, like, go around to members of my, like, the oldest living members of my family. A lot of them are in North Carolina right now. And just write down all of their stories and accounts and get as many pictures as I can, pair with as many people as I can. Because once they die, all that shit dies with them. My grandma doesn't even have a birth certificate. She's not sure of her birthday. So I can't, growing up in a time where that was a thing for people that look like us, I can't imagine the stories that she has. And I just really want to make a trip down there and soak up all of that information, and trace it back as far as I can. And I know there's going to be, it makes me really sad, but I know there's going to be a point where I won't be able to trace it back further because that shit has been erased. But I want to go back as far as I can and really see where I've come from. I think that would help with me feeling more whole, I guess, and connected to myself, even if I'm not super connected with those people. Which I am, but I'm referring to, like, your situation. Just knowing where I came from.
I get you.
Yeah.
It's just something to think about.
Yeah, for sure. Did you have anything else you wanted to say about, like, black versus black people?
Keep that shit off Twitter, man. Keep it off social media. If we gonna talk about that shit amongst ourselves. Cause white people be listening and they be watching and they can see all that shit and they telling each other all our business and it making us look, like, nah, man, clean y'all shit up. Y'all moving, especially with all these entertainers, all these celebrities and all that shit, man. Niggas moving dumb as shit. Oh yeah, niggas getting arrested for dumb ass shit. Stop doing that dumb ass shit. Like, you famous, bro. Like, you don't have to be out here in the streets with these same ass niggas. And if any nigga is holding you back from being the best nigga you could be, let them go. Let them go.
Real shit.
Cause we at a time now, bruh. We really at a time where it's pivotal, yo. Like, niggas not understanding. They really watching this internet shit. Like, the cops is watching y'all niggas. And it's not on some, like, yeah, you might get locked up for putting your gun on Instagram. No, nigga, they gonna track your house. FBI gonna pull up, and then you and your grandmother and everybody else about to get locked up for the rest of y'all lives. That's how serious it's about to be. Cause they is not playing with this shit. Y'all think y'all the only ones that can track somebody and do all the, they know how to do that and more.
And people putting all their shit out there.
And you putting all your business, like,
on
everything.
Themselves.
Like, I need us to clean it up. Let's do better, y'all.
Yeah. Well, to close out, I just wanted to highlight, like, a few of the ways that the history of racism in this country, like, how it's shaped it and how it still continues to seep out literally everywhere. Like, in medicine, data, schools, the fucking people. I mean, shit, gentrification, which is like one of the super big ones in
Like
neighborhoods.
shit. Gentrification, why everybody around here can't find nowhere to live at, man.
Yeah.
White people running everything around here. They tore down most of DC trying to find some homes and shit, but these niggas got whole states like Montana and Wyoming where they could take over, and y'all niggas want to come over here. Like, man, go somewhere.
That's
like,
why we all need to pool our resources together and get some motherfucking land.
Buy acres.
Dog.
Buy acres. Stop buying chains and buy some acres, nigga.
Dead ass, dog.
The fuck?
And like learn how to be self-sustainable. I
Nigga, you know how
can't
many-
preach this shit enough. Learn how to be self-sustainable. Stop depending on white people to provide your livelihood.
Like shit.
Cause these niggas could take this shit away, turn all that shit off for you, keep themselves good, and you're fucked.
you just fucked.
Cause you don't know how to do
They
anything
gonna
for
take
your
your
damn
guns.
self.
They gonna take your guns and then they gonna shoot you.
Dog.
That's how they gonna do you.
Dog. Just like they did before. History repeats itself.
That part.
We know that. So learn how to be self-sustainable, dog. I mean, a lot of people, even myself, have started gardening during quarantine because that like.
I'm about to buy me some plants and shit.
Yeah. Do you know what plants you're getting?
I don't. I've been researching that shit, but I don't know what I want to get. I gotta get something that's easy because I'm lazy.
You're not getting like edible plants.
No.
Okay.
I wouldn't eat nothing I grow.
Why?
I don't trust myself that much.
Eventually.
That's
the
I gotta
goal.
start off small. And then,
Exactly. Because our land is gonna need gardeners, dog. You know, everybody. Ooh, that's a good thing to point out. Everybody needs to have their role for the new world.
Like shit.
Everybody needs to have their role. I want to be like a gardener slash nurturer, but mainly to animals.
I want to be either the philosopher.
Hey. I love how you laughed as soon as you said that. No, I could see it.
Yeah,
Skxnni, the philosopher.
Yeah, you know, so, ooh, I'm keeping that. I even say that. I want to be like the scavenger or some shit. Like, I want to be the person that go out, like when the zombies come. I still believe in the zombies come. I want to be the person that go out with the like.
Yo, that's why I just got my license, dog. I'm trying to be prepared. I'm like, Dad, we need to go to the gun range so I don't forget how to do this.
Like shit.
You know, like I need to be ready for whatever.
Guys to be.
For whatever. But yeah, man, learn how to grow your own shit, feed yourself, how to hydrate yourself. Literally, I'm trying to get into foraging. I'm trying to get to a point where all of my food is being grown by myself or I'm finding outside. Dead ass.
That's real shit.
I'm not trying to depend on these niggas for nothing.
Like shit. Be
Not
off the grid,
a
bro.
thing. Dead ass. I bought a couple books this past week explaining like how to do that shit. So
Hey.
I'm researching.
Okay.
I'm researching.
I like it.
That's my goal.
We here. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, we fucking did it,
Like
dog.
shit, we did this shit.
I'm so good. I'm so excited for you to be co-hosting too.
I know. I'm a fan. You know what I'm
Let's
saying?
fucking get it.
Yeah.
Well, thank y'all for listening.
Yeah. I hope
us
you
talk
listen.
shit.
If you didn't listen, I was gonna say fuck you, but that's mean. I ain't gonna say that.
Nah. Fuck you, but love you. There you go.
Yeah, I might love you. I'm weird about love. If I love you, you gotta love me back. Cause I got a soft heart. You know what I'm saying?
Well, if they listen to you for the past however long, they probably love you.
All right. I appreciate it.
Thank y'all for listening.
Yeah. All right.